Another Democrat has entered the race to try to unseat Congressman Cliff Bentz in the 2nd District. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke with Dawn Rasmussen, a writer and media consultant from the Dalles. And this week, we speak with Patty Snow, a business owner who has worked in the hospitality industry and is a former IT executive. Originally from Idaho, she now lives in Ashland in the Rogue Valley of Southern Oregon. She and her partner own a business called Osteo Strong. Patty Snow, welcome to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
Congressman Bentz won the 2nd District last year with 64% of the vote. Why are you running when this is obviously an uphill battle for a Democrat?
You're right. As a matter of fact, since this district came into being, there have only ever been 2 Democrats in this seat, and there's never been a woman. So it is an uphill battle, but times are very different right at the moment. There is extreme agitation throughout the country, as we are aware, and people are seeing their money go less far. We are seeing some of our rights be eroded. We are seeing the cost of goods go up, and people are angry. They're afraid of losing their health care. So I think that now people are willing to consider someone who might not be in their party, but who has their best interest at heart.
How much did national politics in D.C. influence your decision to run?
Oh, it was complete. I never had a desire to be a politician. I still don't have a desire necessarily to be a politician. I like to call myself a civil servant. But when things started happening, when I saw the current administration start to erode our Constitution, when I saw that they were not listening to the Supreme Court, when they were grabbing people off the street without allowing for due process of law and deporting them and then saying there was no way to get them back, even if they were proven not to be an undocumented immigrant, I was very, very concerned. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I refuse to let my children and grandchildren grow up in an America that has less freedoms than I had when I was growing up.
You don't have political experience. What in your business experience could prepare you for this job?
Oh, that's a short question with a long answer, but I'll keep it short. Basically, business is very much like politics. You have to look at what is the best thing for your business. How are you going to keep it running? Obviously, you need to be financially responsible, so you need to make sure that the money coming in is exceeding the money going out. You need to make sure that the people who run your business have an understanding of your business and an understanding of what you do and why you're doing it. And you also have to have a deep caring for the people you serve. In my case, we're a healthcare business, and my members are everything. Taking care of them, making sure that their lives improve is our goal. And as a representative, it would be the same thing. Looking after the constituents of the 2nd District, the people of Oregon, the people throughout this country, taking care of the people, not the party, is going to be my #1 objective.
Let's get into that. What would be your major priorities in Congress? What would you want to tackle first?
Oh, thank you for asking that. There's an avalanche of issues that need to be addressed. But if you've heard me speak before, you know that I talk about 3 North Star projects. These are the areas that I feel truly passionate about. The first being healthcare. What has recently happened to our healthcare system through the passage of the H.R. 1 bill, known by many as the Big Beautiful Bill. What that is going to do to our healthcare system is devastating. And it's not going to just impact the people who are on Medicaid. I want to make that clear, because part of the provisions in the H.R. 1 bill were to cut something called the provider tax. And without getting into the weeds, the provider tax is simply an amount of money that healthcare providers pay to the state government. Then the state uses that money to fund Medicaid. But it doesn't just come from the state. We get matching funds from the federal government for that money. So right now, that amount is capped at 6%. So we can take 6% of the revenue that the healthcare providers earned in the previous years. That money goes into the state Medicaid account. In our case, that's called OHP. Then the federal government matches that. And that's where we get our bucket of money that we use for Medicaid payments. So when someone who is on Medicaid goes to the doctor, to the hospital, and they provide their Medicaid card, that's where the money comes to pay the providers. They have slashed that from that 6% cap to a 3.5% cap. That is going to cut nearly in half the amount of money we have for Medicaid.
And
so that's not.
And how would that specifically affect your district? How would that affect two?
Oregon's 2nd district is the poorest district in the state. By cutting this provider tax, what that does is it eliminates the amount of money by half of what we have for those people, but it also means we can't pay the healthcare providers in our hospitals and our healthcare facilities. The head of Oregon's healthcare has said that this is going to devastate our rural hospitals and cause massive closures. And here's the thing, Ken. Cliff Bentz knew this. Cliff loves to stand up and say, when the big, beautiful bill was in the House before the vote, he stood up and he convinced Republicans in the House that it couldn't be touched because, as he said, and I'm going to read it so I don't get it incorrect, I think I can take some credit for saying clearly in the committee meeting, we can't let our rural hospitals lose this. And by this, he meant the provider tax. So he stood up for it. He knew what that was going to do to his constituents.
Let me ask you one other thing. We don't have a lot of time. Democrats and Republicans are far apart on a budget bill right now, especially regarding health care costs, which you've already expressed you're concerned about. That would keep the government running through November 21st. So are you in favor of a government shutdown? The deadline for a deal is October 1st.
The short answer is yes, but with caveats. We never want the government to shut down. That hurts everybody. But sometimes drastic times come for drastic measures. And if the majority party will not listen to the concerns of the other half of the country, then we need to do something to stand up and make sure we are heard. I don't want to shut down the government. That is a last resort. But if they will not listen to the needs of the people, the millions of people who are out protesting about what has happened, if they refuse to listen to that, then it may come down to the fact that we might have to have a temporary government shutdown to get our point across.
And Patty Snow, we're out of time. We could talk about a lot more, and I'm sure we'll talk more with you before the primary election in May. Next, an argument against the USDA's proposal to open up millions of acres of forest land to road construction and logging. Hollywood actress and native Oregonian Brenda Strong in this week's Give Me a Minute.